Welcome everyone to Dragon Quest FM, where we talk about and obsess over Dragon Quest. I'm Austin.
I'm BJ.
And this week we're talking about what could honestly be like the end of Dragon Quest as we know it. And that's not
Yeah. And
really
we're not
hyperbole.
being facetious here. It's not
We're not.
hyperbolic. It's terrible. Like everything that's going on right now is awful in the games industry.
It is. So, brief recap because I don't know. I don't pretend that everybody is like tuned in to like online or just
Right.
gaming industry as we are. But so to recap for people who may not know what's going on, um, 2 weeks ago now, PlayStation, week and a half ago, PlayStation announced that it will no longer be making physical discs of its games starting in January 2028.
Right.
So about 18 months from now. No longer going to be making physical disc for its games. Now the wording makes it seem like that means any PS5 games after that date will not have physical
Right.
releases.
They
And
did clarify one thing. They
go ahead.
did clarify that if a game already has a physical edition, it will continue to be produced as a physical edition. But anything new coming out beyond that will not have a physical edition at all.
Right. It did because though the language isn't super clear, it does, I guess, leave it open that other companies could make physical PS5 games on their
Right.
own if they chose to.
Yeah.
Sony's just not doing it. So like
Sony isn't doing it.
Marvel's Wolverine, which is a PS5 exclusive, comes out in September. That gets a physical
Mhm.
release. If it were coming out in September of 2028, it would not. It's kind of the way to look at this. Presumably, that means the PS6 will not have a disk drive at all. Um,
Which means it will
amidst
not have a BJ.
amidst that, or in Austin, amidst that, you also have Xbox, which is rumored to not even have a disk drive on its next console,
Yep.
um, and has been laying off like thousands of people this week
What was
already.
it like 2 days ago? Was like 4,800 people or something like that.
It was 3,500
35.
yesterday. And then today, the day we're recording this, there's been a couple of other studios
Hmm.
closing. Some have like gotten their own independence again. Some are being sold off. It's just like it's a hot mess. But the takeaway, I guess, at least for Dragon Quest, is that the next Xbox may not have physical discs at all, period, as even an option.
Hmm.
And then all of this, of course, comes amidst the game key cards that happen on the Switch 2. That if you've listened to this podcast really ever, you know that I absolutely hate. Like I refuse to buy a game that's a game key card.
I have one,
Um,
and it's a Dragon Quest game.
After you explained it to me about always needing the card,
Yeah.
where it's worse than physical, but also worse than
Worse than
digital.
digital. Yeah.
I'm like, it blows my mind. I didn't know how that works, and now that I do, I'm just like
It's
extra against
it's
it.
literally the worst of all worlds. Like you have to still download the full game, but you also still have to have the cartridge in there at the same time to be able to access it. Like it's a terrible idea and literally the only saving grace of it. Like the only thing is for super nerds like us who want that jewel case on the and cart on the shelf. Like there is no like I guess you can still let somebody borrow the game because they can then download it from the game key card. Like if I were to give you my DQ7 reimagined card, you would be able to download that game and get it, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think like that I haven't tested it because I don't have another,
Switch to,
Switch or anything to try that on. But with
but
username, I guess I should try it with Jennifer on the Switch 2 or the Switch Lite or something. But
or just bring it down here
I'll
with you
bring it
next
down
time
there
you're
when I come
down,
next time and
and we'll
try
just
it.
experiment. Yeah.
But that is the only better part that I can see of, or decent part of that. But even still, it's
Assuming it's true, assuming
assuming
that's
it's
how it
true, like
works.
this hypothetical situation that we're thinking should be true. Like the industry is going in an all digital access versus ownership kind of business model. And for Dragon Quest, and especially the people like us, and people who would listen to this podcast, collecting is such a big part of that. That collecting, look behind you, you have the like five slimes and a tockle behind you there, and on the shelf you can't see is jewel cases of and boxes of DQ games forever, from forever ago, and that won't happen anymore. They simply won't exist.
Presumably, yeah. And that's the thing is that so with Switch 2 using game key cards, Square Enix does not you have the option of putting games, on a cart.
Mhm.
Square Enix does not do that for Switch 2.
Right,
They only do game key cards. So that has caused some issues with different things like for Dragon Quest 7 for example, Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined,
right,
you could buy the Switch 2 game or you could buy the Switch 1 which has the physical cartridge and just play it on your Switch 2. But Square Enix also does not do upgrades, does
right.
not do even like a paid $10 upgrade.
Yep.
It has and granted this is now like 1 year into the Switch 2's lifespan, but still, as of right now, Square Enix shows no signs of doing upgrades or releasing off game key cards for Switch 2, which is where you kind of get into the problem with okay, Dragon Quest Monsters, The Withered World comes
Hmm.
out in December.
Right.
Um, that I can just tell you straight up right now. I'm just gonna play it on Switch One.
Are you?
Um, yeah, because my PS5 disc drive doesn't work, so I'm just gonna buy it on Switch
And
One.
you refuse
And
to get the game key card for
because
the
I
Switch
refuse,
2.
yeah, a man's got to have his principles.
I mean,
Yeah, and so I'm just like I just will not do it. Like I just will not buy a game key card. And But after that, after the Withered World, we're looking at Dragon Quest 12, and this is where we really have to look at it as like the
yeah.
end of Dragon Quest as we know it, is that unless this game comes out in 2027 next year, which who knows, maybe it will. It
We
looked
might.
it looked a lot more finished than I honestly expected it to when we
Right.
saw DQ12 on Dragon Quest Day, but uh, unless it comes out next year, if it comes out in 2028, there's a very real possibility that Dragon Quest 11 is the last mainline Dragon Quest game we ever get like physical disc or cartridge
Right.
of. Because otherwise, Dragon Quest 12 will be a game key card on Switch 2.
Yep.
It will be a
Digital
digital
download
download
on Xbox and PlayStation
and
and
PC.
Steam,
Yeah, yeah. And
and
so
they won't make a Switch 1 version of it. It's a next generation game. Like that's the whole thing is that there's no reason for them to have a Switch 1 version of this to have a physical copy of it. Like the only way that we'll be able to play this game if it comes out, if it does not come out next year, is going to be entirely digital. And that is a tragedy, if you ask me. Like that is a
it
travesty.
it makes me so angry. Like the day
Yeah,
that PlayStation made that announcement, I was really mad about it. The one silver lining here is that it seems like at least people on the internet are also really mad about it.
yeah,
You know, now I'm not going to pretend like everyone is. There's a huge portion they're like, oh, I only buy digital anyway, so
right,
I really couldn't care less. And you have people who, are like, yeah, well, I thought this about music and now I only use iTunes, and I thought this about, movies and now I only stream it on Netflix. But
right.
and there is like an argument there, but as like someone who still buys physical releases of video games they care
Right.
about, me, still buy, I double up. I buy CDs and the vinyl record of albums I really want.
It's just vinyl for me. I don't actually have right now a CD player that's outside of my car. I have a record player though.
I'm a double dipper for like albums, I care about and want to own.
Right.
And then I'm the same way about Blu-ray. If
Hmm.
it's a movie I care about, like I go out and try to buy the 4K version of it,
Yep.
because I want like the best looking version of it. And I'm very much a physical media person, and I know a lot of people
Yep.
are. And the thing is with that is that you can still be a physical media person for music and
Hmm.
for most television
Most
and
TV.
movies because you still have the option to buy Blu-rays, to still buy CDs, to still buy
Yep.
vinyl. But if Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation all just decide like, hey, our next systems are gonna be digital only, it completely takes that option
Option away.
even out of it.
Yeah, like you
And
don't
so
get to make that choice, and that's where it gets me. Like I like physical media. I like being able to just pop in a disc or a cartridge and play it years down the line. And that's what it is to me. I end up getting digital games on sale all the time. Like I'll grab stuff when it's super cheap. I don't like to buy physical or brand new digital games. I don't like to buy them full price. But when I get one that's on super sale, sure, I'll grab a digital copy of it. And I feel bad about actually getting digital full price games most of the time because of not having the physical copy to go to later. And it's that like I can go and play my 3DS games right now. I can
mhm.
go and play my Switch games right now. I can go play my Super Nintendo games right now that I have. And I will not have that option for anything that comes after 2028. That as we get older, we have to rely on the remakes and remasters and continual consumerism cycle of paying for access to this game for whatever console we want.
And I mean, and like you just mentioned right here, you can go play your 3DS games,
Yeah,
right? But
and do.
the 3DS shop closed down. So
Yep.
the only way for you to get those games and continue playing them is through physical media, which stops existing. It's very anti-consumer in the fact that it ends like game lending. Like I can't just
Yeah.
hand you a copy of the game and like you and I trade games
Yeah.
up like frequently. We
Yeah.
mail them to each other
We
even if we
do.
don't see each other in person, and and borrow them. And it's just like that takes the complete like the option away.
Yeah.
But then also you have problems with like PlayStation literally the same day was like, oh, BT Dubs, we're also closing the store for PS3 and Vita,
Yeah.
which is just like some next level like irony, you know. Um
Like and it wasn't within it was either a little bit before or a little bit after. I think it happened before they made the physical media announcement was that they removed a bunch of movies from people's libraries that were no longer available. That if you had purchased on PSN certain movies, that they were removed entirely from your library, even if you had done the purchase rather than rent. And so you no longer had access to those. And then a couple of days later, I saw somebody had gotten an email. I actually didn't check mine to see if it was an email. I saw somebody had posted an email they got that their PlayStation Network account was going to be deactivated. They haven't logged into it in a long time. And they either had to reply to this email or log into their PSN account, or all of their digital act they would lose access. Their licenses were going to be deactivated, and they would no longer have any access to their any digital media they purchased, like games or
yeah.
whatever. So if you don't log in for a while, you lose access to it. Even if you log in, if you don't log in every 6 months, it's just something else that they're going to delete and you can't get away from, like you can't get access to that they're taking away from you.
Yeah. And I mean
It's ridiculous. Like
the
I'm
whole
so mad. Like
yeah.
this makes me actually angry. Like not even just nerd rage angry. Like I actually get mad at this because of the repercussions that it has in terms of media in general. That like
The thing is that like I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but the problem is that people react so negatively to it, but then
just continue.
they
Right.
don't follow up on it. GTA 6 is a great example. GTA 6 pre-orders went up and they said, "Hey, it's digital only." And people I saw numerous people, some of whom I know personally in real life, be
Right.
like, "Oh, this is terrible. It's the worst thing ever." Oh, by the way, I pre-ordered the $100 Ultimate
Right. Of
Edition.
course.
And it's like, okay, like no company is going to change its opinion because you're mean to them
Nope.
if you're giving them
If
$100.
you're paying for the ultimate edition anyway, which GTA
Yeah,
6 is a big example of the other stuff that I'm starting to really hate in video games is that the GTA 6 is locking actual content based on pre-order version tier, or not even pre-order tier, like version tier from ultimate edition to deluxe edition to
yeah,
whatever. That the $100 version has access to more actual content and places you can go than the $70 version, or maybe it's 80, the $80 version that's the base one. I don't know. They've upped the prices. But yeah, if you don't follow through on those threats, they're not going to know anything. And if you take Here it is. If you take the incentive, like people were canceling their PlayStation Network accounts, their PlayStation Plus accounts, in
Protest.
defiance of this, in protest of this. Thank you. And they were offered. I did. I canceled my PS Plus account that I had that we had set up. I canceled it, but they offered after that. They started offering stay with us for half price for 2 or 3 months. And if you take that, you're not making any kind of statement. You're just still giving them what they want. You're another stat for them. They don't care about that $8 that they cut off. You're another number that they have of an active subscriber that they can get data from and sell to. Like it's people are not following through with what they do, and it's going to take people actually doing something about it. And either like you not buying game key cards, like you buy multiple copies of everything. Like that is if everybody were like that, even me included, having gotten that, I'm not going to get the I don't know what I'm going to do for
And
DQ monsters.
to be fair, I am also one of the most stubborn human beings probably on the planet.
Yes.
Um,
You are the most stubborn person I know in life, period. Like that's just period.
and I'm going to take that as a
It is.
compliment.
It should be. Like you are by far the most stubborn, bullheaded person I know.
Yes.
And so you do have to take that into consideration when you're like, well, I'm not doing this. It's like you haven't filled up your own drink at a movie theater since you got mad at the soda machine in Burger King in Pulaski, Tennessee.
Um, yeah, that whole Burger King thing. But anyway, so like, but that's my thing is like, if you look at it like another way, if like people who are watching this on YouTube or listening to this podcast on Spotify or whatever, like if you can leave us mean comments, and then for every mean comment you leave, you give us $100, and it's like we're gonna be fine with it. And that's really what's happening with like GTA 6, and it's what's gonna happen with like PlayStation. You know, if you keep buying games after 2028, you can
Yeah.
get on the internet and say, "Hey, I hate this and this is wrong." Oh yeah, but I just bought this like $100 collector's edition,
Right.
digital edition. It's like then it's not you're not doing
Any
anything. And
good.
so like, and I'm not trying to make people feel bad about themselves. I understand that some people are looking forward to GTA 6 the way we're looking forward to Dragon Quest 12, right?
Right.
And like Dragon Quest 12 is going to be a big like problem for me
Hmm.
because it's like I really want to play Dragon Quest 12. I'm not going to buy a game key card. I am hoping that there is a physical edition. I'm hoping this comes out before then,
Hmm.
or that like enough of the like controversy happens that something's going to happen where we will get a physical edition of this. And my this might sound silly, but like one of my big fears is that they're going to release a really nice collector's edition for Dragon Quest 12. I love the collector's edition for DQ11. Other
Yeah,
than
it's really cool.
other than I don't know, I'm trying to think. Probably the like Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn
Mm.
collector's edition. Like Dragon Quest 11 is my favorite. And
Right.
Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn, that one was pretty good too. It just in terms of like value for money, but
For what
also
you
everything
get.
you
Yeah.
get and what I wanted a collector's edition to include, like all of that stuff. So my fear is that we're going to get this really awesome Dragon Quest 12 collector's edition that just comes with a code.
Yep.
Because that's what they did for Endbringer when they announced Final Fantasy 14 wasn't
Yep.
going to come out anymore. I bought the collector's editions for the other Final Fantasy 14 ones,
Yeah.
and I almost bought the one for Endbringer. A friend online, I missed the first wave, and so a friend online was like, "Hey, these are back." Went
Right.
up, got it all in my cart, and then was like, "Nope, you know what? I'm not paying this for to not have a physical game." And I didn't get one for Endbringer. And now,
Hmm.
like, I mean, I'm not planning on getting one for what's it called?
It's not
The new
Dawn
one?
Shard. It's I don't remember what the next one was
It's
called.
cold. It's cold. It has to do with
Yeah.
like cold
I
stuff.
I
I
don't
can't
know. I
remember
can't
the name
remember
of it
what it
now.
is now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blanking on it. But anyway, like I'm
But
not gonna get it. And so like in Endwalker was the Endwalker, yeah, was what it
in
was called.
Walker, yeah.
And Shadowbringers Endwalker. And like I don't know, like I had it in my cart and then was like, nope, you know what? Gotta
Yeah.
stick to your guns, Austin. And I just didn't buy it. And I'm really worried about that for Dragon Quest 12
Yeah.
because I want those goodies and I want the
Yeah.
game, but I want the game, you know?
Yeah, the game, not the not access to the game. That paying for these licenses. I mean, I don't buy the same thing on Steam. I don't ever buy a full priced game on PC because I can lose access to it at any time. That I'll buy something like that off of GOG because I download the exe files or whatever and put them in Google Drive and can at least keep them or on a flash drive or the hard drive that I've got on the side here that I can keep the exe files and be able to install them and play them later. But it's I don't want to have just a digital license to something like that for DQ12. Like
Yeah.
I
You
really truly don't. And like then you'll have things on like I have the have I think it's the PS4 version of Dragon Quest Heroes maybe
Mhm.
that I have on PlayStation Network. I can't play it on my PS5. It's got a lock on it. Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy Maxima. I can't play on my PS5. It's got a lock on it that it only works on the older generation console.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
if you don't keep those consoles around, even if you have access to it, you can't get it. And then they take access to the consoles away, like they did with the PS3 and Vita stores years later, which, you know, I still use the Vita. And I know a lot of people do. And it's just this whole thing is making me not want to play video games.
I
But
no, me too. I
like, I
even
mean,
told you
honestly,
that day, I was like, I think I just don't like video games anymore. Like just the industry as a whole is moving to a place that just does not appeal to me at all.
mm-mm, no, not
And
at
and
all.
and it's also like a cost thing is that like let's use Dragon Quest 11S, right?
Right.
If you were to go and buy the physical you could go and buy a physical copy of this easily for like 20 bucks,
Yep.
especially
No
used.
problem.
You know, in the case still everything 20 bucks. If you were to boot it up on PlayStation Store right now, it's most likely 59.99,
Hmm.
49.99.
Right.
And you see that with a lot of games is that and that's like something that I do a ton is I wait for a game to be out for a little while
Yeah.
because with most video games I'm like, you know what, I want to play this, but I can wait a year. I can wait a year and grab it when it's
Yeah.
half price or less, like a year from now.
Yep.
And then I buy it, from whatever retailer and play it, love it or don't.
Yeah.
And then, put it on my shelf when if I ever decide I want to play it again, take it back out.
Hmm.
And I've had to get a little closer to digital media lately because of the disk drive in my
The disc
PS5
breaking. Yeah.
being broken, but still, like with Dragon Quest 7, right? I bought the PS5 collector's edition even though my
Yeah.
disk drive didn't work for it because I wanted the like latest gen physical copy
Yeah.
of it. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll get a PS5 with a disk drive, down the road,
Eventually
buy
get it
another
fixed
one
or
or
get a different
pay to
one.
have it fixed. Yeah. And then of course, they raised the prices of PS5s and then announced they're doing away with physical
Yep.
releases. So I'm just like, I guess I'll never have nice things again. But
Never.
I did want to mention really quickly that William, one of my friends, William, I've talked about him here on the podcast before. He does like the cool horror DVDs and
Hmm.
stuff, the mixtapes. Hi, William. I know he listens to the podcast quite often, so maybe he's listening to this one. But I was talking about it with him in like a Discord chat that I'm in with
Yeah.
him and some of our other friends. And he was like, well, he was kind of hopeful. He was like, it sucks right now, but you kind of have to look at it with the way that movies tried to flock away from physical media with like
Yeah.
Blu-rays and 4K and stuff. And then now it's like there's all these like really nice premium 4K releases
Right.
that they're churning out for movies that they didn't have. There's like a 10-year span where they were just like, yeah, we're not going to do that because
Hmm.
people want to buy digital. And there was like the consumer trend kind of went the other
Yeah.
way, whereas like people are either going to wait and stream it or they're going to buy it.
Right.
And so he was like, that's going to happen with video games. And I really hope
I
he's
hope that's
right.
the case. Yeah.
As people can't people will try to, use Game Pass or PS Plus to
Yep.
stream games. And when they can't, they want to own the actual thing,
Yep.
which at least in my mind makes a lot of sense. And so then companies will be like, okay, you know what? We're bringing back the disk drive for the PS7 or whatever.
Right.
The catch there is that we'll be in like our 60s
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
the
like, does it
problem.
matter? Yeah. Like, does it matter that
What
the
am I keeping
PS7
this
has
physical
disk?
media for at this point?
It's like we'll be in like a nursing home with like the
Yeah,
PS7,
it
Which I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, okay? My dad has a roommate. Shout
right.
out. Shout out to his roommate. My dad has a roommate. Um, and he's the coolest dude, okay? Like he is like inspirational to me
Right.
where I want to like when I'm older. He's he's in an assisted living place like my dad is. Um, and he can get around a little bit better than my dad can. But like the first time we went to visit my dad, and he had told me, something about his roommate, and we walk in, and he has like this huge flat screen TV up on the wall in their
Yeah.
room, and he's got this PS5 hooked up. He was playing the Terminator game
Oh,
on
nice.
PS5, like the first
Yeah.
person shooter, and like I just sat and talked with him about like video games and everything,
Yeah.
and we left. I told my mom, I told my wife, I was like, that's who I want to be when I'm when
Yeah.
I'm when I'm old and like chilling out in an assisted living place. I
Just
hope I'm that guy with like the giant TV and the like latest, video game
yeah.
console and just, playing it up. And he had like a huge stack. Speaking of physical media, he had like a huge stack of like PS4 games,
Yeah.
just like sitting right there. And like we talked about video games for a bit. He was
I
he was
mean,
cool.
that's awesome that you can do something like that. Yeah, I would love to be that guy. I mean, God. And then I saw, going to what PlayStation said is justification for all of this. They said that like 85% of their sales were digital, and consumers were buying like 85% of their sales were digital. But that is also including games that don't have a physical release. That they're including that in where things that would have 100% digital release because there isn't. They didn't
Yeah.
release any numbers on what the difference is between uh, physical versus digital on games that have both. And so it's disingenuous on their part just to be able to dismantle production facilities and cut middle people out.
So you're telling me $1 billion company is being disingenuous?
Yeah, I know. I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
God. And I hate it.
My
Like I
my
hate this
entire
kind of
world
stuff so
has
much.
been
It,
turned
it's
upside
it's
down.
we've broken everything. Like we found the problem, Austin. We're the first people who found this problem. Um, but it just made me mad when I saw that. I was like, just manipulating data like that to prove a point that doesn't exist. It
I
just
mean, let's
drives me nuts.
let's be honest. Most likely the reason for this is that everything is more expensive now.
Hmm.
This is a way for them to cut out all those production costs,
Yep.
still charge the same amount for
Same
video
price or
games,
more.
also control the market at that point
Yep.
because you have to go through the PlayStation Store. You can't go to like a secondary place. And you can't share it with your friends or anything. It's
Yep.
locked to your account. So this is just like, I mean, I don't care what kind of data they share. It's
Yeah.
100% a way for them to
Yes.
make more money without raising prices even more. Although
Yeah.
I fully expect
Although
them to
I
raise
expect
prices. Yeah.
I expect by the end of next year, by the time this happens, for 89.99 to be the standard price for a game. Honestly, I expect them to raise everything up.
Yeah. And I
And
mean, yes, everything is more expensive, but at the same time, it's like there has to be a breaking point.
yeah,
And I feel like from the Xbox layoffs that are happening this week and the PlayStation announcements, just everything that's been going on, I feel like the video games industry as a whole is either reaching that breaking point or has reached it.
yeah.
And
Like there's
it's
a
just like,
watershed moment coming soon if we haven't already hit it. That there's going to be something. This
yeah.
is
And there's some silver linings here. There's like litigation that's already started,
yeah,
against PlayStation for this. I kind of expect it to be one of those things that eventually goes up to, testifying and before Congress that it's not
right.
like anti-consumer and stuff like that. And then it's like either you get a slap on the wrist, which is what happened with like Meta and Facebook,
Yep.
or you just, nothing happens because
Yeah.
of lobbyists. But lobbying is a whole other conversation
That's a
for
that's a
another
whole
day.
different
Um,
yeah, I mean
e-
or
Everything
best
is,
case scenario, it goes in front of the EU. They're the ones who care because, as we know, the ones in EU actually care about consumers a little bit more. Like we're looking at the replacement batteries in the Switch and things like that. Switch 2 model coming out. Uh, Physical media will only be available in Europe, and America doesn't care. The American government doesn't care, and we'll be importing everything from the EU to get, and Asia to get physical copies of games, like we've had to do with some Dragon Quest, like 1 through 3 remakes on the Switch cart.
Yeah. And I mean, and the whole thing just makes me sad because it's like, I mean, like you mentioned, I do tend to buy games on multiple
Hmm.
consoles. But like the catch there is that I don't buy them when they're brand spanking new and $70.
Yeah.
Like I wait until they're $20 and buy it $20 for PS5, $20 for Switch,
Uh-huh.
and it's like I'm only out $40, you know? And it's just like
It's
I don't know. I I can also recognize that if maybe not if I'm not in the minority already, I'm definitely in the like endangered species category
right.
of like consumers where it's like I still read books. I don't read Kindle or anything like that.
Yeah.
I read books. I buy CDs and vinyl. Want physical video games. Like I don't do digital stuff at all. And I I, I don't know. The
Uh,
whole thing just bums me out at the end of the day. And for Dragon Quest, it's just like I'm hoping beyond hope that whether it's the backlash to this or the litigation or whatever,
yeah.
that PlayStation will say, okay, fine, whatever, we're not going to make any more, but they at
But
least have a disk drive, even if it costs a little bit more. Like I would be willing to pay extra for a PS6 with a disk drive. You know, I
yeah,
paid extra for a PS5 with a disk drive because I
exactly.
wanted the
Yeah,
disk
I
drive.
wanted it.
Like I would be willing to pay more for this thing. And so I'm hoping that maybe if that option can exist, and this all hinges on a lot of maybes, I understand, but
Yeah.
then maybe Square Enix will also be like, okay, well, you can have discs for this, so we'll put Dragon Quest
Right.
12 on a disc, and have all of this. And it really just hinges on a lot of companies doing the right thing,
Yeah. Which,
which is
as
why
we
I'm holding my
know,
breath.
yeah. Don't hold your breath on it. Um, the only other thing that I can see them doing is stuff like this. Is also saw that they sell a separate disk drive for PlayStation 5. And
Yeah.
so even if you have the digital version, you can hook it in USB to actually use physical discs, which you might be able to look into. I saw that the
It
other
does
day.
not. Nope. I looked into it already because it's like an $80 disk drive. It
Yeah.
will not work with mine because I already have. It's already has a disk drive on it.
I'm making a face if you can't see it. I would.
Yeah.
That sucks. But
My my whole PS5, dude, is borked. I haven't even got a chance to tell you. Like, almost all of the controllers have drift on them now,
right.
and I refuse to spend $85 for another controller.
Even our
The
Switch 2 is getting that way.
the disk drive doesn't work, and now half the time when I boot up the PS5, there's like a bad HDMI reading, and
Oh.
it's like zoomed in, colorless, and like at the like old school box TV ratio, like
Yeah.
16:9 or whatever it is.
Or like four to
And
three, the actual
yeah,
square.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 4:3, thank you. And then if you unplug the HDMI cable, or I've even tried extra other cables because I'm not a moron, um, or at least I don't think I am. I, I've tried it and it like, it doesn't seem. I think
Wow.
it's a PS5 problem because it doesn't seem to matter what HDMI cable I
Yeah.
use, but you have to unplug it a little bit because
Wow.
my kids play PS5 way more than I
Yeah.
do these days. But yeah, it's just I've had the worst luck with my PlayStation 5. I've never had a console have this many problems.
And you had an
Um,
Xbox Red, like multiple Xbox Red Ring, Xbox 360s Red Ring on you.
yeah,
And this
one
PS5 is
at the end of
still.
one. It was really one, but it red ringed more than once.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you had it fixed. But yeah,
But yeah.
it's this is as you can see, we're very passionate about this, y'all listening, and we are not happy about the way things are looking. We're almost out of time, so if you want to leave us a comment on YouTube or on Spotify, please do that. We're on. I'll let Austin do it. He does this. It'll mess everything up if I do it.
We're on Blue Sky and Twitter at Dragon Quest FM. If you want to talk to me personally, I'm on there at Dragon Quaston. If you want to watch us on YouTube, we're at youtube.com/at DQFM. Be sure to subscribe too, because we're bad at YouTube. And we need the encouragement.
We do.
And also follow us over on Spotify. I think you can watch these episodes over there now as
Mhm.
well. And if you would like to support this podcast, patreon.com/Dragon Quest FM. And shout out to all of our patrons. We
Yeah.
really appreciate all of you guys, especially when there's stupid stuff like this happening.
Yeah.
It's just a nice to get a little win every so often.
It is.